welcome to TATB. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to warn you in advance. There is some building work happening next door that's really noisy, and it sort of stops and starts. So I may be cutting in and out while I film this. It's Friday Sews. It is Friday I'm going to say 16th of June. I just lose track. It feels like the months and the weeks are just absolutely flying by at the minute. I'm going to start off by telling you, as predicted, I've done 0 sewing this week. To be honest, I don't know how much sewing I'm going to get done in the next few weeks. I've got a day off today, and it is a full day off. So I don't have to go anywhere this evening. I'm not socialising or anything, so I'm barefaced because I very rarely have days where I don't have to put some makeup on. So I'm making the most of it. So hopefully you're not too offended by the visage. I have freshly washed my hair though, so it swings and roundabouts. But yeah, even though I haven't made anything, I thought I would just pop on and chat about a few things this week. I did manage to cut a little something out. So my Little Miss So-and-so project I shared with you a couple of weeks ago is the Fibre Mood Oriana shirt or blouse or whatever it's called in this lovely Lady McElroy print. I think it's called From the Veranda, maybe is the name of the print. So that's all cut out. This bit is a sleeve. It's a nice voluminous sleeve, which that pattern has. So I did cut that out. And today I'm hoping to get a few more things cut out. Now, I am in the process, as most of you know, of we're getting ready to temporarily move out of our house. So we're packing everything away with mixed success. We don't have an exact moving date at the minute, and it's kind of difficult to plan what you're going to need and what you're not going to need when we don't know if it's going to be in 3 or 4 weeks or if it's going to be in 6 or 7 weeks. So swings and roundabouts, but I am trying to get my sewing stuff more organised. So I went through my stash the other day. I split stuff into fabric that I might use in the next 3-ish months, and fabric that I don't think I will use in the next 3 months. Everything I don't think I will use has been packed away in boxes to go into storage, and everything else has either gone over to my mum and dad's, which is where we'll be staying for a bit, or I have a few things here that are things that I think I realistically might sew in the coming weeks. I obviously won't sew all of it in the coming weeks, but I just wanted to have stuff here if I have time. And in doing that, I've just been trying to get a bit more organised. The fabric isn't so tricky. It's working out what haberdashery I need, which tools I'll need, which patterns I'll need. That's what's really tricky. And I was recently watching the lovely Judi from Running So-and-so's vlog, and she uses these lovely A3 folders. I will show you one here if I can get it out. Which just like Ziploc ones. These ones are all different colours, which I feel like is very on brand. She uses them as like project bags, and that's what I've started doing. So I've currently got one. The next 2 things I'm planning on making are the Oriana shirt. Is that what it's called? Or the Oriel? Whatever that shirt's called. So I've got one for that, and I've put the fabric, the interfacing I need, the pattern pieces or the pattern, the thread that matches, any other notions in that one folder. And I've done the same for the redwood tote bag that I'm making, which is a gift. And yeah, it's really satisfying. I also have a tendency to cut all my pieces out, and then if there are any little teeny ones, I always lose them. So this way, I just feel like I'm organising my mind a bit more. And my plan for the rest of the day is actually not to do any sewing. I'm just going to be cutting stuff out and getting stuff sorted into these Ziploc bags. And that just hopefully means that when I have a minute to do some sewing over the next few weeks, there will be projects there where I can just sort of jump into them. For the most part, the things I'm planning on working on are things that I've been talking about for a while. I would say after those 2, I also am hoping to make another Elodie dress. I also wanted to say the fabric I used for my wedding Elodie that I showed you in my last vlog is on sale again on Fabrics Galore, half price. So it is £6 a metre, I think, as opposed to £12 a metre. So if you like that fabric and you want to make a dress that's quite fabric hungry, or a project that's fabric hungry, go on the Fabrics Galore website because they have some good bargains on there. I think the sale was only announced today. So yeah, so I'm going to make a glittery Elodie dress. This fabric in the background I'm going to use to make a Jemima jumpsuit, which is the new Sew Over It pattern. And yeah, I've got a few bits and bobs up my sleeve. Sorrento jacket is my plan for the next Jenny Stitches blog. And then I've also decided, I'll show you. So I asked the other week what you would do with some of this striped fabric that I've got from Minerva. And the one I was really stuck with was this chambray, which is, I don't know how well you can see it, it's striped, a mint green stripe. And I've decided I'm going to make the Winslow culottes, but in a shorter length, which I can then pair with the Cali shirt that I've been planning to make with this colour blocked shirting, which is also from Minerva. So then I'll have a little outfit. I've been on a bit of a journey with shorts. So I previously never wear anything like above the knee. And that's been a long-term thing for me out of the house. I would never wear anything above the knee. But recently I've just felt more that that's really silly. And I'd quite like to just have some nice shorts to wear when it's really hot. So I'm going to make the Winslows because I've made them before in the sort of 3/4 length. But I thought I'm going to make them the above the knee version because that fabric's quite breathable. I think it's got enough body to work for a bottom weight, but also it's not so heavy that it won't take the Winslow pleats well. I did make some Winslows in a pure linen last year, and it held the shape so much that it looked like my lower half was inflated. It was quite snatched at the waist, actually. It was quite nice, but they just were like, they held the shape too well. They were like balloon pants, whereas this, I think, is slightly less structured. So yeah, so that's that in terms of plans. Sorry I can't show you any new garments. This dress that I'm wearing is a Lyra again, that I made last summer in a nice gingham, and this one is Mabel. So we're having a bit of a Tilly moment today. Yeah, so I had a few other things that I thought I'd talk about from this week. One was the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern, which is called Esty, which is a co-ord set. There's been a lot of controversy around the pattern cover specifically. And one thing I wanted to say, based as a reaction to some of the comments I saw and based on my personal experience. So I think for the most part, most people were just saying they didn't feel like the fit was as good on the plus model as it was on the straight model. And I think that was probably, you know, right. The fit wasn't perfect. They've acknowledged that, they're reshooting it, great. But some of the comments below were sort of going off on this, like, Tilly and the Buttons, they don't like fat people, they don't want to extend, blah, blah, blah. And all I can talk about is my personal experience and I was the first plus model they used for their extended sizing. And my experience was really positive, and they put so much thought into it. Like, honestly, so much thought into it. The block fit me really well. I had very minimal adjustments to make. The only problem I've ever had with the Lyra was the button placement didn't quite work for me because of where my like apex sits. So that's the only thing I've had to play around with. So with some of my original Lyras, I would say the button placement was off, but everything else fit me nicely. Yeah, and they put a lot of effort. I was talking to them at the time about the process that had gone into extending their size range, and so much thought had gone into it and so much care. I wasn't sewing because some people said, oh, there was stuff that went on before that and blah blah. I wasn't sewing at that point, so I don't know. I can only speak about my own experience, which is that they really put a lot of thought and time into it. And the other myth I wanted to dispel was I saw someone commenting that they had no excuse for getting the models fit wrong because they'd fitted her before. But you shoot all of the covers on the same day. So you go in, they'll shoot 3 or 4 looks, and they just release them over a period of time. So you do a fitting, like a virtual fitting. They send you stuff that's been made up, and you try it on, and then they'll have a look over a Zoom call or whatever at how the fit is. You can say, oh, I feel like it needs more of this and more of that. But, you know, with toiles, if the fabric is slightly different, or sometimes once you add certain elements on, it just changes things, or your body's just changed a bit, you turn up on the day, they pay a lot of money to do these shoots, and I just think sometimes the fit is off, and they do the best they can do. You know what I mean? So I think it's great that they're reshooting it, and I think that will give people a much better idea of, because they said they've like slightly tweaked the pattern since shooting it because the fit wasn't quite right. But yeah, there were just some comments, and I was like, oh, I just think people are reaching, and it's fine for something to just not be quite right, and they've, you know, gone to correct it. So that's my 2 cents. My experience with them was very positive. They were very supportive of the way I looked, and yeah, in a way that I was not used to having from people. So I just think there isn't anything more sinister, is all I'm saying, from my experience. The SD for me is not, I don't think it's a shape that would be good for me personally. I think if I do co-ord sets, I prefer to have a skirt on the bottom. I like the sort of high square neck of the top, but other than that, I also don't wear lots that's sleeveless. So I probably won't be buying that one for the time being. But you never know, once you see it out in the world, sometimes I'll be like, But also every pattern, you know, I love the Mabel. I've gone on and on at you about the Mabel. And there are loads of people who don't like Mabel at all. So it's just like, you can't be to everyone's taste, right? Anyway, please don't cancel me for my views. But I just thought I'd say I've had personal experience and they were absolutely great. And yeah, that's all I can share, my personal experience. Yeah, so then Sewing Bee, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I have been really invested this time, more so than I have in previous years. I mean, some of the challenges are really hard. I have questions. So like, and if you know, I don't know if anyone knows the answers or if it's just guesswork, I have no idea. But do the time limits include cutting out? Do they get any help with cutting out? Don't know. I mean, I presume it must include cutting out. And I suppose they have these big tables and they can use weights and rotary cutters, which are much quicker. But I just don't know how they get it all done, to be honest. And the other question I have about Sewing Bee was, when they do the made to measure challenge, do you think they use bits of pattern pieces, or do they just sort of like make the garments up and sort of drape them? Do you know what I mean? Do they just sort of cut them and hack them together? Or do you think there's more science to it than that? That's what I want to know. I have a lot of questions about Sewing Bee. I just don't know how they do it, to be honest. So I'm interested. If you know, or if you think you know, let me know. I think I'm so bad with their names. The garment, and I don't want, if you haven't watched the latest Sewing Bee, just speed ahead a bit because I don't want there to be any spoilers. The garment that won, I think, was it Mia? Her garment this week, the little crochet 2-piece number, was so beautiful. And it didn't, like, I thought a lot of the crochet outfits looked a bit like bodged together, like they looked like they were sewing with something, like the garments didn't look like they were supposed to exist in that form. But hers, I just thought was stunning. Yeah, I really loved it. I thought it just looked very high end. I also enjoyed last week. I really enjoyed the draping challenge. It made me want to try draping. I don't think my mannequin, I mean, I probably could do something on this mannequin, I don't know, but I think it looks like it's better on the solid dress forms rather than the adjustable ones. And the swimwear one got me, I've been thinking of making swimwear for like 2 years, and I've bought bits and bobs and I'm just too scared to do it. So I really liked I think, again, was that the one that won with the little puff sleeves? I thought that was very cute. I liked the Battenberg one that Vicky made. And I really liked the one they weren't so keen on, which was the one shoulder one with the belts that was sort of rust coloured. I thought it looked very high end. I think they thought it was a bit simple or something, but I thought that looked really nice. So no, I'm just really enjoying it this year. Let me know what you think. I still stand by, I think Asthma is the front runner. They've not focused on her that much, but she's just technically so good. And she's so quick. I just feel like she's going to start winning Garment of the Week a bit more. I don't know. But we'll see. It's a really good bunch this year. And it's moved around a bit who's like doing well and who's doing less well. So I think it could go either way, which is quite nice, isn't it? When it's not too fixed. So yeah, I think that's probably all I have to chat to you about today. I still manage, this is how much I love a chit chat, I still manage to chat for 16 minutes or something, even when I haven't sewed a thing all week, which is, you know, says a lot. But yeah, I hope you're all having a great week and enjoying the sunshine. I will be back. I was tagged in a 5 essential makes video and challenged to share a vlog on my 5 essential garments. So I'm going to get that done at some point this week as well. In terms of Friday sews, who knows what will happen in the week, if I'll have anything to talk about or not. I normally can find something. But thanks again for watching. If you don't subscribe already, please consider subscribing, slowly but surely, spreading the word, and like the video, and feel free to comment. I love to hear what you've got to say and hear about your projects and stuff like that. And I always respond. So if you've commented and I haven't responded, it's a mistake. Okay, I try to respond to everything. So yeah, have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.